Hi, my name is Robert and I'd like to share with you version 1.1 of a viewer for Windows, which is a freeware program that allows you to view, change, and save images on your Windows computer. So we'll just get the program going. There's two primary windows. This is the first, and it's used to open up a file. So there's 5 different ways to open up a file. The first is to simply drag and drop it into this window, and the viewer will open up. So and there's the viewer, and we'll talk about that in a minute. But for now, that's just showing you how it opens up. Also, when the viewer opens up, the window that was originally there to open up the windows has disappeared, but it'll be restored as soon as you close that window, and that's just to save you some space on your desktop. Another way to open up a file is to click on the folder there and just navigate to it someplace on your desktop and click on it and bring it in. A third way is if you already have an image in your clipboard, you just click on the image of the clipboard there and it'll bring it in. And for those of you not familiar with that picture, that's Parliament Hill in Ottawa, Ontario, Canada, where my grandfather was a page boy in 1916 when it burnt down. I used to tease him that he had left a cigarette around, but in fact he did not, and in fact they rebuilt it, and there's a picture of it today. Another way to open an image is to just have it up on your screen. So let's just bring our little kitten up here, and it's up on your screen inside another program, and just use Microsoft's clipping tool. So you're going to click the clicking tool here. This opened screen will minimize just in case part of the image you want is underneath it, and you'll just use Microsoft's snipping tool to kind of highlight the image that you want to bring in, and there it is inside the program. Another final way to open up an image is something I think unique to this program, but I could be wrong. In any case, you saw it here first. If it is, all you do is you click on this arrow here. It'll minimize this window, and it'll allow you to pick an image that's already on your screen, whether it's in another viewer or your web browser or whatever. So I'm going to click that, and then I'm going to go over here and I'm going to click the image, and that'll bring it in. And you'll notice this time when it brings it in without the frame of the application, as well. If there's any borders along the sides or the top or bottom, it'll trim those off, and so there's your picture. So now that we have a picture in our viewer, we're going to work with it a bit. There are a variety of controls along the side here, and this little status bar along the bottom telling you what the value of certain of those controls are. So I'll leave level for a bit, but I'm going to go through all of these and show you how they work. Basically, with rotate, you just hold the mouse button down, and it begins to rotate the image. So if you hold the left mouse button down, the rotation angle will increase, and if you hold the right mouse button down, that rotation angle will decrease. And for the following controls: rotate, zoom, brightness, contrast, gamma, saturation, they all work the same way. So another feature then is if you hold the mouse button down and you hold the shift key down, it'll double the speed of the rotation. Or whichever control you're using, if you hold the control key down, it'll make it go 5 times as quick, and if you hold both down, the control key and the shift key down, it'll make it go 10 times as quick. So once we're finished with that, if we want to reset that particular value, we just press the center mouse button, and that'll reset it. So the same sort of thing with zoom, in and out, it can zoom in while it's rotated, or any of these other guys are changed as well. I'll leave crop for a moment as well. Invert just inverts the picture back and forth. Brightness increases or decreases the brightness. Contrast, gamma, saturation, they all change the image in the ways that you would expect it. Grayscale, it just changes it to a black and white image. Yes, I'll skip sharpen for a second here. Reset, what reset does is, so here I've kind of zoomed in on the image a bit, and I've rotated it. And if I'd had any of these other ones too, let's say I change the brightness, I can change any of these back to their original value just by clicking them with the center mouse button, as I had mentioned before. Or I can reset them all by clicking and holding for 1 second on the reset button. So if I just click on the reset button, it won't work. I have to click and hold it for a second before it'll reset, and that's just to prevent accidental clicking of that button. Another kind of really cool feature on the program is, well, you can pan it. You can move the picture around the screen like this, but you can also have a viewer going here, and the viewer is so this is a viewer for sure. But if you click on the viewer icon with your left mouse button, it'll open the two images kind of one over the other. So let's say I start changing some of the settings here. So that'll be the ones that's changed, and that'll be the original. If you click the viewer with your right mouse button, it puts the original image on the right here, if you will. And if you just center click it, it'll turn that off, and it'll go back to one picture. I just want to show you though that if you rotate the image, or if you zoom in or zoom out on it, the two pictures will stay in sync, as well as if you pan either image, they'll stay in sync. So that's kind of a cool feature as well. So I'm just going to reset that now by pressing this button, and then I'm going to reset the viewer by pressing the center button in the viewer. Okay, so let's bring in another image. We like this kitten, but there'll be another image here that'll show some other features off a little bit better. So this is an image I scanned, and it's a little tilted, as you can see. So we could rotate it into into where we think it should be, or what we can do is we can use a level tool, which is right here, and that's what you do. You click on that, it turns orange, and then what we're going to do is we're just going to click on 2 points, as far apart as we can. That would be a level line should the image not be skewed, and that'll straighten everything else up. The crop button does probably what you expect it to do. It allows you to crop out the image to to your desired location. Now again, you can reset all that by clicking the reset key. This pin on top feature here allows you to keep this program on top of other programs. So for example, if I was to have this viewer up here, you'll notice that this guy here now always stays on top of the viewer program, no matter what I do with it. Now if I unclick that, if I just click that there, it'll change that little icon. It won't be pinned to the top anymore, and other applications will take precedent. But that's handy to have when you have, let's say, a Word document and you want to change some of the words underneath it, but you want to keep looking at your image on top. Another feature of the program is that it will launch another program of mine called A Viewer for Windows, and so it's free as well, so you're welcome to download it. The program has two modes: a reading guide mode, which this is, and it just helps you kind of read through a document. I don't want to get into a big tutorial about this particular program, but you can also switch through the skins here, and you can use a transparent reading guide if you prefer. The other thing it can do, and I'm going to just close that by pressing the center mouse button. There you go. And then the other thing it can do is can open up, if you press the the right mouse button, it can open up a ruler for Windows in ruler mode, which allows you, so I'm just going to switch back to the skin I like the most, is this one here. It can allow you to measure things on your screen, which can be quite handy as well. And both the ruler and the reading guide, you can make them horizontal or vertical. But if you want to learn more about that, there will be a link on the website for a viewer to Windows to get you to a ruler for Windows. The other feature that the program has is you can launch Microsoft's Magnify tool. So if I right click on that, it'll bring up the magnifier. So here the magnifier is, it was last used at 100%, so I'll change that to 200%, and now you can look at the image quickly, at a greater level without having to zoom in on it. Now, if you just click it again, it'll dismiss that. It'll close that up. So, but again, like if you click it, it'll bring it up at the last setting that it was at. Also, I'll mention that with the magnifier tool, I think it's Windows Alt M or something like that. I'm not exactly sure. You can maybe look it up. It'll change the viewer between the magnifier, I should say, between full screen mode and this interactive mode. But I always just use this this mode here. Another way to close it is just to click there on its own close button. Copy just copies the image to your clipboard. Save allows you to save it to your hard drive someplace. Now, the original name of the file here is called test PNG, so it's going to save it with the same file type PNG as the original, although you can change that if you want. And it's going to give it the same name, test, but it's going to append adjusted by a viewer for Windows to the name of the file, just so that you don't, inadvertently overwrite the file that you opened. There's a quick help as well, so that'll just bring you through a couple screens of what I've talked about. And this, I should mention too, this bar here that separates the image from the control bar. You can kind of drag and drop it over that way to get rid of the words. There's still tooltips over all these controls to tell you what they do, and you can expand that up as well. So and of course you can resize the window. In any case, let's just go back to the main window here. So that's most of the functionality of the program. There's also, in the About Help, there's a quick help for this one particular screen. I can show you that. There it is. As well as a link to the website. There's a community support forum you can visit. There's a button to donate if you like, copyright and license, and this is an option that you can have checked or unchecked to automatically have the program check for updates on a daily basis. In any case, that's the program in the nutshell. I've really enjoyed writing it, and I hope it'll be of good use to you. But before I go, I just want to, as in the first video, I want to put a shout out to John Epauletti, who has been very helpful in kind of vetting and testing and offering really good ideas on how to advance this program. So thank you very much for that, John. And for the rest of you, thank you for your time. And again, I hope you can make good use of the program. Bye for now.